Cyclone Emnati packed vicious winds that shook trees and felled many of them as it made landfall in Madagascar on Tuesday night. It dumped heavy rainfall that left entire neighborhoods in the country's east submerged. The country has been lashed by 4 storms in as many weeks, leaving tens of thousands affected. Residents cut the fallen trees to open up blocked roads as authorities survey the damage. As soon as there's a cyclone, we find ourselves underwater, and our house is the one that's destroyed behind me. We implore the state to help us, especially we who are flooded by water. We suffer a lot. We ask for help from the state. We're in trouble. Our house was destroyed by a landslide. We have nowhere to stay. All our children's school supplies got wet in it. My child is in an exam class. The cyclone damage, it hit very hard. Everything is destroyed in our neighborhood. Houses, trees, fences. More than 30,000 people have been moved to emergency shelters. Madagascar is prone to numerous storms and cyclones between November and April every year.
Players, developers, studios and international investors met in Cape Town for the 4th edition of the Africa Games Week. Organizers say the event aims to help the continent's gaming industry meet demand for African-made content and boost the potential of local talent.
Things that have not been explored. Majority of the games being from America, Europe and Japan, we know their cultures, we know what to expect. As much as there is still diversity in that, we, for example, in South Africa have 11 different languages. That's one thing. Each of them are linked to a specific culture that has different histories. Playing with that in game development as a means to telling a story, it allows you to actually get quite a lot of content that is new and not been fully explored yet.
The gaming industry in Africa is set to grow exponentially due to a soaring interest among the youth and as more people get connected to the internet. For me, the future of this industry, and not only this industry, is in Africa. It's the new EI Dorado. Centuries ago, there was a gold rush in America. Today, I believe this gold rush is happening here on the African continent, and we Africans have to be the first. According to some report, over 303 million people, which is about 28% of the population in sub-Saharan Africa, are connected to the mobile internet, a number that is set to grow to 474 million by 2025, creating an even bigger market for the gaming industry. Former Guinea-Bissau Prime Minister Domingos Pereira has been banned from leaving the country due to a judicial review in an investigation into an attempted coup in 2021, according to Bissau Prosecutor's Office. Pereira is officially accused, while he was Prime Minister, of having allowed the disbursement of $5 million to Guinea-Bissau businessmen to pay debt or to local banks, according to official sources. He is also cited in an alleged coup attempt against President Mbalo on 12 April 2021, according to official documents. The Prosecutor's General Office issued a statement on Tuesday evening announcing a measure of coercion against Mr. Pereira from Tuesday. The decision prevents him from leaving the country without any authorization of the public prosecutor. A meeting scheduled for Monday at the National Assembly to consider the request to lift immunity was not held due to lack of quorum, notably because of the absence of the ruling party members, according to parliamentary sources. Guinea-Bissau, which is a small West African country with a population of about 2 million, has a history of coups since its independence from Portugal in 1974. It has experienced a series of coups, military or not, successful or abortive, the last of which failed on 1st February.
Supporters of the Economic Freedom Fighters Party rallied in Cape Town to denounce South Africa's borrowing from the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. The protesters had gathered outside the venue where Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana was delivering the annual budget speech. Last July, South Africa's Treasury announced that it had secured $4.3 billion from the IMF. the party denounced the multinational lenders as economic terrorists.
We'll explain to you when we come back here that when the National Treasury announced the loan from the World Bank, both the Minister and the Deputy Minister of Finance were not aware. But there's a clique within National Treasury that is in control of National Treasury and even takes dangerous decisions, such as taking loans from the World Bank and the IMF.
In January, the country secured $750 million from the World Bank to further strengthen its pandemic response. The party has slammed loans from the lenders as genocide. South Africa's economic recovery will be difficult. The finance minister of the continent's most industrialized economy warned on Wednesday during the budget speech.
America's first newspaper dedicated to ending slavery is being resurrected and reimagined more than 2 centuries later. The revived version of the Emancipator will push for racial justice and equity as the United States continues to grapple with its legacy of racism.
The Emancipator is a digital publication created to reimagine the first abolitionist newspaper in the United States. So just as those anti-slavery newspapers were created to bring about the end of slavery quickly, immediately, the new Emancipator, we are focused on bringing about racial justice and equity, and we're using journalism to bring that about.
The new Emancipator was announced last March, nearly a year after the killing of George Floyd sparked social justice movement worldwide. The editors say drawing on the paper's legacy is appropriate now because many people today can't imagine a nation without racism.
These issues are just so critical right now. We are sort of at a tipping point as a result of the events of 2020 with the police killing of George Floyd and other racialized deaths. As a result of the racialized, disparate impacts of the coronavirus pandemic that surprised a lot of people, not me and other people, but it surprised a lot of people. People are convicted by this moment. They want to know more, they want to do more, they want to be better.
They say the goal is to reframe the national conversation around racial injustice. That will be achieved partly by elevating the voice of the marginalized and minority communities and covering news events from their perspective.
We feel like this mission is really to deconstruct, to destroy, white supremacy in all its forms. And we know that white supremacy is overly concerned with hierarchy and power, and so is patriarchy. And so by being 2 Black women who are helming this initiative, we are modeling a new way of leadership and shared responsibility for the community of interest that we serve.
The initiative was funded by philanthropic and public donations, and the content will be available to the public for free.
1.3. Okay.